Hey, welcome to Chatting with Maxie. I'm Maxetta Gad, and I'm glad you're here. Thanks so much for pushing play. I appreciate it so much. So, let's just jump right in. Let's jump right in. I hope you guys are having a good week. I took last week off. I believe, probably have to do at least 1 week off per month. Just because I have a few different projects going on and I want to be able to do each of them well. I don't want to just show up. I want to show up with purpose. So, but when I show up, you can bet I will always be me. Look, fresh out of the shower. Girl just got out. She's letting her hair dry. Okay, there you go. Someone's got to be cute. Why not me? Just kidding. I'm kidding. It's a joke. I'm just kidding. All right, listen, here's some stories. Some of these maybe you've heard. Now, I share quite a bit. I mean, I post on Facebook and such, but most of my stories, like that I talk and such, and tell random stories or jokes or whatever, they are on Instagram, usually on Instagram stories. Sometimes I post, though, just on the regular feed, but, and TikTok, I'm trying this, I don't know, finding a groove there. I don't know. Anyways, I shared this. Now, I think I did share this on Facebook. I don't know, but I'm sharing it again. Okay, here we go. Y'all, I went to Buchanan. I had to go for some training and such, and I was just right down the road. Like, it was a 2-minute drive to that donut shop, donut place. I forget what the new name of it is, but it's like all the hype, all the rage over there, okay? So I was like, well, I mean, your girl's right here. How you gonna just not go in, okay? It's not the person I am. So I thought I'll get it a dozen because Rye is home and he'll have a little snack. Chris will enjoy a little snack and Price will probably grab one as well. Grayson didn't get to come home this weekend, but so I go in there. I've never, haven't been in there before, so I had to check out the selection. I mean, I had to look at the display and just kind of get a feel for the joint and see what it was that I wanted. When I walk around or stand, normally you'll see me, my hands are in my pockets. I don't know, they are, so they were. Well, suddenly you hear a car alarm go off and off and off. People in the store are like, oh, that's somebody's car alarm, and the server behind the counter, she's like, yeah, it's probably one out back. That happens occasionally. Yeah. Okay, so I know what I want. I know that I want 12 that are filled. I know what I want my assorted dozen to be. So I'm in line waiting, and that car alarm, it's still going off. I'm like, my goodness. So I say, goodness, something along the lines of, I wonder if they know, or that car alarm's still going off. I make some sort of statement. It's at that time that I am feeling around in my pockets, and I think, oh, wonder if that's mine. Well, wonder no more, because I took the keys out, hit the button, boop, it went off. I just started laughing. I mean, what are you going to do? Like, there's no hiding from it. The store's not that big. Had people in front of me, behind me, beside me. I just started laughing. I was like, oh, that was mine. that was my car alarm. Oh, shoot. That was mine. I don't know. I just thought it was hilarious. So when I got up there, the little server, she was laughing, and I wanted to tip her. Because you should be tipping your servers. So they were very busy too. They were very busy. And then you had the car alarm. Then you had the nut that didn't realize it was hers. But anyway, so she ran my card. Well, normally, you get a receipt and you can write in the tip. So then she just gave me my receipt. I didn't have to sign it. And I said, I mean, is there not an option to leave a tip? She was like, no, we've told management we need that option. Quite a few people ask, but they have a little tip jar out there for cash. If you've been friends with me any time at all, I'm the world's worst at carrying cash. Oh my goodness. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Oh shoot, I'm sorry. Now I'm sorry, and I mean, people behind me, they're ready to get their donuts, right? So I was like, oh, I'll run out to my car. So I took all my stuff and I went out to the car, and I did happen to have a few ones in there, so I took them back. I was going in, I'm just going to the tip jar. I wasn't skipping line. I'm not like in the cafeteria at Webster Springs Elementary skipping line. I mean, I did that a time or two, but whatever. It's history. But people, I mean, they gave me the looks. Well, I didn't know if they were giving me the looks because, oh, there's that woman that lets her car alarm go off, or if they gave me the looks like, are you passing? You just got a dozen. What are you doing? Man, I just stuck it in there and hit the trail. I got out of there. But I am here to report the donuts are pretty good. I want to know, though, are the donuts, are they like frozen dough? And then they bake them and add all the goods to them? Or are they like really mixing them and making them? I really want to know that. I mean, either way, I bought a dozen and I'd buy a dozen again, but just curiosity. They say curiosity killed the cat. No, that's not true because my mom has a lot of cats and they're curious. And don't you know they're surviving? Anyways, that's another story for another day. Okay, what else happened to old Maxie girl? Oh, friends, I took a fall. Oh, gosh, it's embarrassing, but I'm going to tell it anyways. Well, I'm not going into the details. Now, my friend Emily does know, but she's my gal, and she's not going to rat me out. I'm just going to leave it at I fell. Okay, I did fall. Had a fall. And that phrase, did you hear me, took a fall? That always cracks me up when I hear people say that because nobody like volunteers. I'm going to take that fall. But I had a fall anyways. Hurts. Your girl got some injuries from it. Little something with my back, pulled some muscles. I'm chalking it up to that. My side, little action there with one of the ribs. And, whew, I've been whiny. I'm trying to watch my words because I do believe there's power in your words. I just catch myself just whining about it. And then yesterday afternoon at work, something happened. I don't know. I was on the mend and making some progress. And I was sitting one way at my desk and I turned the other way. And oh gosh, I did something not right. I had to call Chris come and get me. It was a struggle. It wasn't pretty at the gas. Pretty. But you know, I'm feeling better. Still just hitting the biofreeze like a mad woman, so you'll smell me before you see me. And taking as many ibuprofen and Tylenol as I can. And Chris's muscle relaxers. He has plenty. And they're not like, they're not bad. They're just relaxing the muscles. Your girl's got to do what she's got to do. And I tell our provider, we see the same provider, and I confess to her when I see her, when I have to get in his muscle relaxers because, and she said, well, I'll write you some. Well, honey, I don't need them. When then here I have a fall and I need them. So, okay, what else is happening? What else is happening? You know, Rise Home, not permitted really to talk about the children on social media. You know. The Life of Fame, it chose us. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. They didn't choose it. No, I'm just kidding. But, you know, I don't want to tell stories about them without their permission. Now I'm going to talk about my granddaughter because I'm excited. I am excited about her. I love her mommy and daddy. I won't tell stories about them, but whew, I will about my grandgirl. Anyways, you know, we're at 23 weeks and just everything's going well. Healthy, growing, all is well. Her mommy already takes good care of her, takes good care of her body, so all is well. Okay, anything else? Okay, y'all like the light tonight? My old buddy Tara Sue, she gifted me a ring light, and that really did make my day. Like, I cried, and I'm using it on a different kind of shade or setting tonight. I think I like it. I don't know. I do. So thank you, Tara Sue. She bought me this, and Beth Woods, that we share an office that I work over that way now, and she bought me a little vlogger tripod. You know, it has a little light with it. And then Sharon Clayton, she got some little clip-on lights, so I can clip it onto my phone if I need to go out in action, you know, when I'm in the wild, which as soon as I get that adapter for my little mini mic, I'm going to be in the wild doing some reporting. Can't wait. Cannot hardly wait. So here's what I'm going to share with you tonight. I really went back and forth. I wasn't 100% sure what I wanted to share, and some of what I'm doing for my personal study right now is like personal. It's not anything that I want to share just yet. Maybe someday, not just yet. But listen, I told y'all when I started this little gig here that I was going to share some of what I've learned over my journey of being in a relationship with God, and some mistakes I made, some misconceptions, and then some things I've learned that are very freeing and truthful. And so I'm just going to share. Listen, nobody's perfect. You ain't going to hit the mark every time. You're not. Now, I do know some people that think that they are. We just love them anyways, right? We just love them anyways. Sometimes from a distance, but we just love them anyways. Okay, so what I thought was, one, I'm going to show y'all something. I've been really trying to improve my communication skills, especially on the podcast. I feel like here I can just be myself, just I am what I am. But on the podcast, I really try to like eliminate the ums. I'm trying to be an active listener, but not always going, yeah, right, oh yes, awesome, yeah. Ugh, I got on my own nerves when I was listening to it. So I'm really have been like watching some YouTube videos and then Googling some different articles. I just want to be an effective listener, but also an effective interviewer as well. Listen, y'all, this book's old. I got it a long time ago. I ordered it from like thrift books for $1.99. I don't know, a long time ago. And it's called How to Listen So People Will Talk. Build stronger communication and deeper connections. The author is Becky Harlan. So I have been reading and studying it some. I am making improvements. I am. Here's where you get into. Like, I want to improve and I want to do a good job because I really want to honor the guests that I have on there and the people that are listening. I want it to be smooth and well put together. But at the same time, I can't lose myself. I'm just saying, I use the word once in a while. And I am from Bolaire, and though, I have friends from Bolaire, and their speech is much, much better. They're very articulate. Well, I'm not always. Whatever. So I'm trying to find that balance of how to be an effective communicator and listener and interviewer while remaining true to Maxie, not changing who I am. I don't know, that was a sidebar. I'm not sure that even fit in here, why I felt the need to share, but that book was laying there with my Bible because it's Christian based and it, I had it referring to some scriptures. So you're welcome. There's no extra charge. No extra charge. But listen, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. I gotta get a little sip, okay? Hang in there. Had to wet my whistle. Chatted so much she ran dry. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Mental health. It's important. I believe now it's coming to the forefront more so than it was, 10, 20 years ago. So I'm going to touch on that. I have a whole thought. I'm just not ready yet to put it out there, but I am going to say this. Mental health among the Christian or church community still probably needs to be talked about or brought to light a bit more. People are doing the best they can with the information they have. It's complex and it's still fairly new, and we're all learning and doing the best we can, right, with the information we have. But just for me, when I don't know if you want to say returned to the Lord, accepted Christ. I believe really it was returning to the Lord. I do. I'm going to use that. Rededicated my life, whatever. When Chris and I, about a month after we got married, I shared that with you somewhere around that time. That's when I truly just gave my heart to the Lord. I want to be a new creation. I want to live for you. I'm nothing without you. So let's go. Let's do this. And for a few years now, I have a degree. I'm a social worker. I'm a licensed social worker. But let me just back that up. I have always primarily worked in elder care in the geriatric population with them, okay? A little bit mental health, but very little, mental illness or anything, very little. So it's not my expertise or anything of that nature. Of course, you have the training you have in school and such, but anyways, so when I first accepted Christ, really I don't remember anything really coming up concerning mental health. As I got older and you go through life, things come up. You start experiencing, child loss, or pregnancy loss, childbirth, death of a parent, death of a nephew, death of people that were influential in my life, friends, changes in friendships, they move or they change or they dissolve, different work spaces and environments. I worked a few different places before I got to where I am now. Life just happens. Your parents age. Things sometimes get tough. Your spouse, you're learning, there's some learning curves in marriage. Okay, so you're learning each other, and of course, even as a woman, and I can't speak for men, but as women, we have hormones that are factors as well, and so those things throughout time have occurred in my life, right? And probably in hindsight, I'm not going to go into it right now. I think I've talked about it a little bit previously and maybe on the podcast, and maybe sometime I'll do a full episode on one or the other, but probably in hindsight after I had Price, I struggled a little bit with postpartum issues, depression and anxiety. A lot of it was out of fear, guilt, shame. Anyways, we made it through, as we always do. I like to bust a rhyme once in a while. But then really, so the death of my dad, that was 2007. It was challenging, but my dad lived a long, full life. And he had been diagnosed with cancer just a few months, actually, before he passed. He made it quite clear he did not want to be a burden. He didn't want the side effects of some of the medications, and he did not want other people caring for him in the way that most likely it would have to occur. Though I miss him terribly, and I can still hear his laugh, and still to this day, sometimes I want to tell him something. I'm at peace with him being in heaven. It's only a temporary separation. I know that's where he's at, and I know that's what he wanted. He actually passed away of a PE, of a blood clot, and though sad terribly, just there's just a different level of sadness / peace with it. Then in 2013, I'm not getting into this in great detail. Again, I'm praying about it, and at some time we'll share my story, but out of respect for others, I'm just going to share this tonight. 2013, my nephew unexpectedly went on to heaven after being in an accident at work, and he was 23, and actually May 2nd was the day the accident happened. May 12th was the date of his entrance to heaven. And so, we're rolling on 10 years here in just a few days. It was actually on Mother's Day when that happened. So my sweet sister endured a lot then, and each year, she does. So anyways, it was during that time that I faced grief like I've never faced it before, which, you go through the 5 stages of grief. I do believe those occur, and you work through them. Like they did in my life. And with that, for about a year afterwards, the first few months especially, but intense anxiety, fear. It was like, it was like fear was just wrapped around me as tight as it could be. And I had like unrealistic fears, and just at night, no sleep. I was the no sleep club. Couldn't though I know he's in heaven and I'll see him again, and again, only temporarily separated, you miss their presence. But also, it was so unexpected, and it was like one of those things that you think, that'll never happen to our family. That'll never happen to us. Well, it happened. So, anyways, I'm not going into everything. I share that to share. I battled some pretty intense anxiety, but I didn't allow myself initially to like feel it and process the grief. I thought that I had to quickly be okay because I was a Christian, love the Lord, spirit filled. I had to be okay. I had to be okay. And boy, that took its toll on me. No one ever told me that, but the enemy, the lies of the enemy did, yes. But I mean, I don't want y'all to think like the church I was in was a tremendous support to us. There's Rye at the door. Who is it?
Right.
What do you need?
I need to know real quick.
What for?
Some lotion.
Well, honey, Precious needs some lotion. Just you'll have to wait a minute, okay? There's some out there somewhere.
I'm joking. I was just gonna let Winnie in.
Oh, thanks. No. Okay, he was gonna let the dog in. Thank you. No, that's okay. The dog, they don't come in my bedroom. Okay, sorry about that brief interruption. It's okay. I'm glad he's home. Anyways, what I was saying is the church family and my friends, I was very well supported and taken care of. So don't think that I learned that there. No, it was the lies from the enemy, but they got so big, they become just consuming. I mean, it was hard to tell what was a lie and what was truth and what was... Anyways, if you have battled anxiety, you know what I'm talking about. So a friend of mine by the name of Amy told me one time, she said, you know what? It's okay to not be okay. What? It's like she had given me permission to just not be okay for a little bit. Okay, I'll stop to say. Now, not stay there. Don't you stay there. We talked about this too. Like, we go through. We're a car. We're going to hit the gas and go on through. We're not going to sit there. We're not going to park there. We're not going to sit and spin our tires. We're going to go through. But just to acknowledge that, like, it's okay to not be okay. I thought, well, yeah. It was like I needed somebody to give me that permission. Now, again, this is just my journey, okay? I haven't really shared this with a lot of people. But here's the thing. If people are out there and they're alone or they're going through this, hear my voice. I'm a happy, joy-filled, funny, dingy, loud person by nature, right? And even during this time, I mean, we had some laughs. Excuse me. We had some good times. But behind closed doors, it was a struggle. And then when you put on top of that, you're not getting any rest, everything becomes confused and twisted and blurred and heavier. It does. It does. Halt, hungry, angry, lonely, tired. That's a little acronym. Help me, Emily and Amy. Anyways, that I was taught one time that where those four things are present, one of those four things or all of those four things are present, it makes depression or addiction or anxiety. It gives it like an open door to get in there and feed and blow it up on. So certainly I was tired, angry for a little bit, but I didn't stay there long because the peace of God that I knew he was in heaven. Lonely, a little bit. It was one of those, like, I had people all around me, but not people that had experienced this type of grief. So I had people telling me things, and I was looking at them thinking, those are great words. And I've been a person, I've given words to other people and thought, oh, that's encouraging and hope-filled. And they are. But it was, I just felt like I was kind of lonely on the grief journey for a little while. Again, all lies of the enemy. That's not what I had planned. I had something else planned, but I'm just going to share it. So anyways, once Amy said that, I thought, okay, all right. Okay. Now, I had people in my life I could have reached out to. People were reaching out to me, coming to my house, and my other family as well, but that's their testimony, their stories to share. But yeah, so it came time I had to go back to work. I'd been off work for a few weeks. My supervisor at the time, Sharon, was super encouraging, supportive, and lenient with me being off work for as long as I was. And I had to go back to work. And if you have returned to work after a significant death, you know those first few days are kind of like, whoo, whoo. You know, you're trying to catch your breath and get back in the swing of things, but your heart's really at home in bed with the covers pulled up. So anyways, I kept hearing Amy say that, you know. I was like, yeah, I'm calling my doctor. I didn't know what to do or what. Now, in between those times, now there were many nights we spent on the phone with our pastors, with them, like on they're just a few houses down, so on their back porch, in their living room, with other family and friends, on the phone, texting. They came here. So, I mean, don't think that I was just out there all by myself. No. But remember, got a little touch of pride in us. I did. I didn't want to ask for help. Remember, I thought, well, I can deal with this. I'm spirit-filled. I love the Lord. I know He's in heaven. I can deal with this. I can handle it myself. Okay. No, superwoman wannabe, you can't. So, not in a healthy manner and be well. And see, I had to take care of me to be able to pour into other people that needed me, like my family, right? So, I called my doctor and I went and I was like, I don't really know what to say. Listen, I cried during triage. Like, they take you back, do your blood pressure and weight and stuff. And I was like, I just need to see it. And I said my primary care provider's name. I just need to see her. So the nurse, she's always so good to us. She took us right, but said, just right, she'll be right in. And really didn't know what I was there for. She didn't know if I was there for strep throat or a broken ankle or a, breakdown. And, well, I believe, they knew what we'd been through and stuff. So the minute my provider, she always knocks, and comes in, I just was crying. I said, I need help, and I don't know what to do. I'm not sleeping at night. My thoughts are all jumbled. I am terrified something's going to happen specifically to this one group of people or to other people I love. Like, I was just, And so she, being as awesome as she is, helped me to calm down at that moment, because I didn't realize it, but I guess I was having a panic attack at that time and had some in the past since this happened, but I didn't know. I just thought they were, I don't know. I know now. So, with her help, I did start on medication. Don't y'all think there's shame in medicine, because there's not. There's no shame in it. You're not ashamed to take a blood pressure pill or medicine for diabetes, or you break your foot, you're not ashamed to go get a cast on it, are you? No, so your mental health is just as important. And that medicine might be temporary until you can get things like leveled back out, or it might be forever. Either way, there's no shame. And so she helped me get something to sleep at night, and she put me on a low dose of an anxiety medicine, and it helped me be able to catch my breath, get that brain chemistry even back out, so I could process what is real and what is not real. And it helped me be able to return to hearing from the Lord, understanding the scriptures, to not just being overwhelmed and just completely in chaos, right? And I was getting rest also. I was getting physical rest. That makes a big difference, right? And so that's kind of my story at that time with anxiety. Now, a few years pass, and we're plugging along. Things are going fine with my doctor's help. We went ahead and stepped off of everything, and so I went a little while without it. And then, chatting again. Something else occurred, private matter, not secret, but private matter within our family. And it started again. And I can remember, it's okay to not be okay. This is not going to overwhelm us. Settle, Maxie. We're not going to overwhelm. Now, I'm a fan for talking to yourself. I do it. But at that time, things got a little bigger. I did go back to my doctor and we talked about it. We started back on that medicine again to prevent any, any going backwards. And she suggested maybe I talk to someone. I was like, well, I'm talking to you, sis. No, maybe a professional. Me? But I'm a licensed social worker. I don't need to talk to anyone. Hello, you did. Okay, and I did. It took a little bit of convincing, but a friend that I had worked with, I remember her making the comment one time that her husband, someone in her family had seen this particular counselor, therapist, and anyways, again, not going into details, but it sounded like it might be the fit for what we were dealing with. I thought, I have never done this, but I'm going to do it. So I made the call, made the appointment, and, it was the best gift I gave myself. And I wasn't the only one involved, but again, not going into it. But I'm just saying, spent about 6 months in regular visits, and golly, such a help. So I say all of that to say, everybody battles mental health issues at times. Sometimes it's just for a small period of time. Sometimes it's for a longer period of time. And sometimes it's on a bigger scale. Sometimes things get so off balance and the thoughts become so hard and heavy that they even take other measures. So I guess what I want to tell you is shame and guilt are straight from the pits of hell, and that's not God's best for you. Talk to someone if you need help. Talk to your doctor, your provider. Go get professional counseling. And listen, if you go to one counselor and y'all are like, this did not work, we did not hit it off. Okay, find another one. Just like you do when you're looking for a medical doctor. I've went to a particular doctor before, thought, well, we do not mesh. This will be my one and only visit. And it was. But I didn't just give up going to doctor. No, because you still have ear infections and stuff you got to go get antibiotics for. So I found a doctor that fits a provider. She's a nurse practitioner that perfect for us. And so for me. So don't give up getting help. There are even crisis numbers you can call. Go to your pastors. Go to people in your church. Just cry out before the Lord if you have to. There were many nights I laid on my bed and sobbed before the Lord. He saw it, and He wipes every tear. He hears us. Nothing's too big for Him, okay? Now, some people can tackle this without any intervention medically or counsel. Fine and dandy, but just don't feel any shame. Whatever route you take to be healthy mentally, don't be ashamed of it, okay? There's help out there. Whatever the need might be. Maybe it's an addiction to drugs or alcohol. Maybe it's a porn addiction. Maybe it's an eating disorder. Maybe it's grief. Maybe it's empty nesting. Maybe it's trouble within your marriage. Maybe life's just heavy and you've watched the news so much that now, things are scaring you. I would just say, please, it can be a combination of things to help you get to a healthy point. It can be talking to your friends. It can be prayer. Go up. I went up and had hands laid on me for prayer. And, listen, I just work it all. Ultimately, God is the healer. He's the deliverer indeed. But I just feel like, just like with, blood pressure, I keep going back to that because someone needs to make some changes in that area. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about mental health, okay? Just like I get help with managing my blood pressure, get help with managing your mental health. Do not be ashamed. Do not be ashamed. Yeah, I don't know. I might have shared too much. I'm going to watch this and see. I may or may not post it, but I just want you, actually, I probably will post it. I just want people to know. See, here's the thing. When you start sharing stuff about yourself, like I'm going to see people. I'm not letting shame touch me. If my voice saying to someone, get help, go to your doctor, can get them there and eliminate the thoughts of condemnation, of desperation, discouragement, failure, any of those thoughts. Listen, I'll shout it from the rooftops. Go get help. Even jolly old Maxie had to go at different times in my life to get a little help because things got a little heavy. Through all of those times, though, God did not leave me. He did not forsake me. Nope, that's a no. He was right with me. I truly believe He organized the providers that helped me because they were so caring and so compassionate. He organized our healthcare coverage, organized a workplace that I could take off to make the appointments that I needed to. So I say all that to say it's Mental Health Awareness Month. Take care of your mental health. It can be as simple as, man, you're just under a little bit more stress. Go for a walk. Go for a walk. I've been going for little walks during the day around Baker's Island, and when it's not raining, it makes a big difference. Go for a walk. Put on some praise and worship music. Change what's going in here. Pray, cry out to God. Get in the Word. Get in around people that are encouraging. And even though you do all those things, I get it that you still might need more help. Then go get it, please. Go get it. That got a little heavy. I don't know. This is a little longer. We're at 36 minutes. I'm going to share it. I don't know. I am. Y'all can, I'll never know if you only watch it halfway through. Anyway, so this is a little devotional book by Louis Giglio. It's called Putting an X Through Anxiety. He has some pretty great books and resources on anxiety because he too struggled with it while he was a pastor. And so you can Google him, look him up. But anyways, the one section I really liked, it says, "You are not crazy and you are not alone." Because I really thought that, not so much when I was struggling with the grief with Mitchell. I knew I wasn't crazy then. I knew that it was just heavy, hard grief. But after those few years when some other things came up in our family that we had to tackle, I thought I was crazy. I thought, I'm going crazy. I'm going crazy. I can't figure things out. I wasn't going crazy. And I wasn't alone either. No. So I really like that. And he says in here, that it's important for us to know that we're not crazy. And what's more, you're not the only one walking through what you're experiencing right now. You're not alone. The enemy wants you to think the opposite, and that's true. The enemy wants to isolate you and think you're the only one. He wants to put that shame on you. He's such a liar. And it says he wants you to feel like you're the only person alive who is in this bubble of darkness. He wants you to believe there's no way out, no end to this misery. He's trying to convince you right now that you'll never be normal again. And he goes on to talk about, he too had a friend that gave him a little advice. Actually, this friend shared with him about his battle with depression. And, he was on the other side of it now. And so that encouraged the author of this book to, hey, it's okay to get some help. And so it says the main message for today is you are not crazy and you are not alone. As David writes in Psalm 23, he is facing life-threatening danger, but he is confident in his shepherd. And he describes it like this: even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For you are with me, and your rod and your staff, they comfort me. It says there are two lines in these verses that are calling out to you that are full of hope. Number one is, for you are with me, right? So we're not alone. We're not alone. No matter how deep the pit, nor how dark the night, you are not alone in this all by yourself. God Almighty is right there with you. I get that you might not be able to make sense or see him, but no darkness can hide his presence from you. And then in the second one, it says, even though I walk through the valley, Even though I walk through the valley, listen, I walked through the valley. Many of you all have walked through valleys. Our valleys may look different. You know, like I said, we've talked about some of them. Some might be an overwhelmed mom. Some might have some sort of addiction. Some just, it may be hormonal. Anyways, our valleys might look different. But it says God is not leading. Now, I like this. Listen. Turn it up now. Put this in your notes. Write this down. It says, even though I walk through the valley, God is not leading you to the valley that you're in. He promises to lead you through it. Lead you through the valley that you're in. His current place of struggle will not, no, it's not his. Pretend like I didn't say his. It says, this current place of struggle will not be the end of you. That's in Psalms 23. It doesn't say God walks you to the valley. It says walks through it with you. Going on through to the other side, right? It's going through it. And it says this current place of struggle will not be the end of you. I like that so much. I just like that so much. There's so much more that I could share, but I'm not going to. But I am going to read Psalms 23. Again, I'm at 41 minutes. Chatting with Maxie was supposed to be 20 minutes long. Well, a lot to say, I guess. In the Amplified Version, I have a parallel Bible. Half of it has King James on one side, Amplified on the other. Psalm 23, it says, the Lord is my shepherd. And it says, the shepherd to feed, guide, and shield me. I shall not lack. He makes me lie down in fresh, tender, green pastures. He leads me beside the still, restful waters. He refreshes and restores my life. He leads me in the path of righteousness, in the path of uprightness, and in right standing with him. Not for me earning it, but for his name's sake. Yes, though I walk through the deep and sunless valley of the shadow of death, I will fear or dread no evil. I'm not going to fear it. I'm not going to dread it. For you are with me. See, God's always with us. He's always with us. It says his rod to protect and your staff to guide. They comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies, and you anoint my head with oil, so much so that my cup is running over. It's brimming over. And the oil that they're referring to at that time is like oil that represents favor. It's good oil. Bring it on, right? And then it says in verse 6, surely or only goodness and mercy and unfailing love shall follow me all the days of my life, and through the length of my days, the house of the Lord and his presence, house of the Lord and the presence of the Lord while we're here, right, shall be my dwelling place. Let's go. Come on now. You know, since I'm telling on myself earlier when I was a younger Christian, you only heard Psalm 23 read at funerals. I didn't know there was like life in those verses, because everywhere it was printed on the little cards, or it was I'm actually looking at a quilt somebody sent me for my dad's funeral, which I love. It's great, but it has Psalm 23 on it. I thought it was just something you read at funerals. I didn't know there was like life and power, but there is. Listen, it's a good verse, good chapter. This is the Message Bible. Remember, this is the controversial one. If you don't like it, just skip over. But remember, this is in paraphrase, okay? Okay, everybody hold on here. So this says, God, my shepherd, I don't need a thing. You have bedded me down in the lush meadows. You find me quiet pools to drink from. True to your word, you let me catch my breath, and then you send me in the right direction. Even when the way goes through Death Valley, I'm not afraid, because when you walk by my side, your trusty shepherd's crook makes me feel secure. You serve me a 6-course dinner right in front of my enemies. You revive my drooping head, and my cup brims with blessing, overflowing into the saucer on the table, dripping down on the floor. I added that one part. And it says, your beauty and love chase after me every day of my life. I'm back home in the house of God for the rest of my life. Let's go. All right. Now let's just read it out of good old New King James. Good old New King James. I love it. Okay. This is my study Bible, and it says, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters, and he restores my soul. He leads me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Now listen how this shifts. In 1 through 3, it was talking about he. He was talking about him. Now listen in verse 4. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. He's talking to him now. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies, and you anoint my head with oil, and my cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Let's go. Listen, I hope you're encouraged. I shared a little bit of myself and my story with you. Just to encourage you, not spilling any tea, not out here, trying to get the scoop. Yeah, I just share it really to encourage you that you're not alone, and there's no shame in asking or getting help. Though my battles with anxiety were in small increments, they were huge at the time. And I know that some of you battle it every day. And what intense heaviness that is to deal with. So I hope that when you get up or you start feeling your heart beating fast, or just first thing in the morning, even before it has a chance to come up on you or to flare up, get your Bible out. Get your Bible out. Get your Bible out and read Psalms 23 out loud. Read it over yourself. Let that be a weapon that you fight when anxiety tries to creep in. Okay, thank you all. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much for joining. And share it with your friends. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Oh, please do. And my podcast, I love it. It's called Come Talk With Me. It's on Spotify and Apple right now. Easy to find. If you need help finding it, let me know. We're hearing some good stories over there. Golly, it's good. Again, same with the podcast, though. I don't want you to tune in just to get the scoop or to hear somebody spill the tea. Nope, that's not the point of it. The point of being transparent is to reveal the transformation that God has done in and through me and through my guests. Okay, so it's great. Okay, that's it for tonight, and I'll talk to you soon. Let's do it again next week. Love ya.